presenter is Stephanie, and she'll be talking about, our social justice and climate action in the global context. So Stephanie Amisi Nehema is a senior here at Seattle University, majoring in public affairs with a minor in environmental studies. She's originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and her work is shaped by her lived experiences navigating different social, cultural, and environmental realities. She's passionate about environmental justice, community empowerment, and making sustainability more accessible across different contexts. Stephanie will be presenting an abridged version of her public affairs capstone project and how she researched things in the Democratic of the Republic of Congo that's been excluded from carbon markets necessary for them to participate in climate action. So Stephanie, take it away.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. So before I start, I would like to try something. So every time you hear me say carbon market, I want you to lightly stomp your food like this. Okay, let's try carbon market. All right, perfect. Thank you. So we hear all the time about like climate solutions, everywhere we hear about like different solution here, carbon market here, pollution offset over there, and I've seen two different sides of the system. So I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and now I live here and I study here, and I've kind of observed like both sides. Pollution here, there's a lot of pollution, emissions and pollution produced here by companies, and on the other side, places like the Congo where there is a lot of forest, like not so much emissions, but like people being affected by those emissions. Then there is like something called carbon markets, and the idea is pretty simple. Let's say a company produces carbon emissions through like factories, like flight cars, and instead of reducing it themselves, reducing their own pollution, they can pay for projects that remove or reduce carbon somewhere else. So they can either fund projects that include planting trees, protecting forests, building wind or solar energy, and a lot of different projects. And for every ton of carbon absorbed, they get something called carbon credits. And for one credit, it's like 1 ton of carbon absorbed. And they use that to say that they have offset their emissions. So these projects are about protecting and reducing emissions in many different ways. Like there's many kinds of projects out there, but I specifically did my research in project in the Democratic Republic of Congo, especially in the forest, the Congo Basin, which is among one of the largest forests and absorbers of carbon around the world. So when I think about that, I was like, oh. This is one of the largest forests, but I don't quite see the benefits from people. So, like, what's really missing? What's missing in the whole system? How is it that there is this giant forest out there and people are not fully benefiting from those projects and the systems? So the thing is, there are a lot of steps, and there is a whole system behind carbon markets, which I called the carbon ladder. Okay, this is a very brief. Like I struggle so much to make it as simple as I could. So I call it the carbon ladder. So to benefit from it, you need capacity, clear laws, coordination, and trust. And this is the most abridged thing. And I spent an entire quarter trying to understand these systems. And just to say that it's very complex. There are so many steps in between for a country like the Democratic Republic of Congo from fully participating in this market and benefiting from climate solutions like carbon market. So what happens in real life? So a company buys credit through the market, and that money should go to projects like in the Congo. But there are so many other things, like who owns the land, who gets paid, what are the systems in place, if at all there is any, So in order to participate, they should already have some sort of system there. But like for countries that have the forests that absorb carbon, but like do not have the specific systems, what do? I was thinking about it, and sometimes community don't benefit fully from those issues, from that market. So the opportunity does not translate into tangible benefits. Sustainability is often very complex, sometimes a little bit too complex, and when it's too complex, it becomes inaccessible. So if people don't understand the system, they can't participate. So next time you hear carbon markets, this is so fun. don't just ask, don't just ask if it works. The next time you hear any other climate solution, don't just ask if it works. Ask yourself who benefits, who is included, who is left out. Does it work? What do they need in order for it to work? Because it's good, we have the solution right there, but like what is really needed for it to work? And just to finish, as Saint Ignatius of Loyola reminds us, love must be shown more in deed than in works. In the same spirit, to love the earth today is not only to speak of its protection, but to respond with concrete and faithful commitment to its preservation. Because at the end, we all deserve a fair chance to climb that carbon ladder. So thank you.